Hey guys, it's Zekin here, and I know, last episode I said I was gonna be more freer, and I'll make more videos, but you know how the beginning of summer is for all of us, and it's like a whirlpool of events just comes your way, and then you don't have time anymore to make more videos. And not only that, I kind of hit a little bit of a creative block, like you know how you know what you're gonna do, but you don't know what you're gonna do. I don't know if you understand. Like if like you know you have a plan, you know what you're gonna do. You thinking about what you're doing it, but when you actually sit down to do it, it's just like nah. But today I have a great episode for you guys today, as I'll be starting the interior work of the Arabian Palace. This Arabian Palace is gonna be like a entry point for the coaster. That's gonna be like an Arabian themed coaster, which will have a dark red section. And I thinking like it's gonna be inspired by I think there's a ride at Efteling that it's like Arabian kind of thing. So I like that, like nice vibes and stuff. And so yeah, as you can see, I used I think it's from the adventure pack, one of the ear pieces from the statue, and I kind of rotated it around and made it into a nice kind of spiraled column, because we don't really have any spiral columns in the game so far as of right now. And so yeah, I'm not saying that Frontier is not hasn't really done a good job of giving us everything we want, but they can't really give us everything we want in per se, because you can't satisfy everybody, and you can't really make all the pieces in the world, or else not everybody's PC can handle that amount of awesomeness. So yeah, I think after I was done with this, I was getting like a frame rate of like minus one FPS, the FPS dropped like by 1, and the piece count for like that single piece right there that I'm placing right down was like about 300 we're talking. And so when I duplicated it, it was like talking around like 4,000 already. So that was kind of crazy, but I use that a lot in this build. So I think if you actually, when I'm done with this whole park and you want to be heading down into the Arabian section, just kind of tweak your visual graphic settings a bit so that you don't break your laptop. And so yeah, now you can see I'm starting with the queue line for the coaster, and at first I wanted to make it like a whole flat queue, but then I was like, wouldn't it be cool to like have it like a step down, like a gradual step down into the main station section? And I've seen them do this a lot when you don't want to use steps, because from everybody's experience, and I'm sure everybody can relate to this, stairs on theme park queues are a hell. And so yeah, I ordered and used the method of like staggering it down gradually until you get to the main station, and so it meanders around itself. And I think meandering in I also think meandering in coaster like it rides in general, ride queues in general, it's not just for making it have more capacity. I think if they were to tell you that you're gonna stand in a long straight queue for about 30 minutes straight, I don't think you'll want to stand there, because there's a difference. When you're standing in a long straight queue, you're like, you don't have a goal, you don't have a new perspective. You're just like, I don't know if you understand, like you're going just in a straight line. But whereas in a meandering queue, like you have turns and you're like, oh yeah, I'm almost there. But in a straight one, you're just like, yeah, are we there yet? But I think it's also not just for the capacity, also to trick your mind in a way, and also in a way it adds like a visual nice perspective to the whole queue, and it makes it stand out and look much more nicer and themable. So yeah, the adventure pack was as always my favorite DLC from this game so far, just cause of these walls. And so I use them a lot in everything I do. So they were really useful in this build a lot. And as you can see, I kind of created like the main queue, and then there's a priority pass, because I'm not really that good at pronunciation. Priority pass, or just fast pass lane, which I kind of made cropped out of the side and beveled the wall to match the bevel of the queue. So yeah, as you can see right now, I'm just adding the pieces up for there, and then you'll see later in this video I would incorporate a lot of Moorish theming into this. And then also I also used, as you can see, the same column pieces which were used in the entryway and the entryway from the Arabian Palace from the front, and I used them a lot, copied them, and they really turned out really well in this build. So one other thing I didn't mention at the beginning of this build is that when I was putting down the column pieces for the entryway from the main Arabian Palace section, I kind of made it into like a forced perspective kind of a way. So when you're walking from and entering the palace from the main entrance, you'll kind of feel like it's a long way there, like how Disney does with their main streets. Like from the front, the spacing between those different sections are like larger, and then as you get to the beginning of the queue, it becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. So when you're looking from the front, it gives you like the forced perspective feeling, and so it looks longer. And then when you're not coming from the back, like from the queue, it looks shorter, so you can like have a short distance to go out. So I really thought that was a really cool feature I incorporated into this build. And so yeah, now you can see that I'm using Artificial Artist, his TMTK floor piece, and so it really turned out nicely. But I don't think at the end of the day, I didn't settle for this particular floor piece. I think I changed it into the steampunk flooring piece, and I really thought that really looked more like a traditional Arabian Moroccan tile piece, and it really has this nice shine and reflection to it that makes it look even more realistic than how Planet Coaster originally shininess and like the weird lighting effects actually affects objects. And I think he really did a really good job on those floor pieces. So yeah, as you can see, there's a really weird wooden kind of not facade art like design in the ceiling, and I tried to incorporate all those nice Arabian geometric designs, and so I didn't really settle for this particular one. I think I changed it later in this video. So I changed it into a more repeating kind of design, because this looks a little bit jaggery and it's not pleasant to the eyes in like a form over function way. So I think this has a lot of, it doesn't even meet the status of form of function, it doesn't meet any of those. It just looks a bit scattered and not repeating, and so I kind of changed it into like a hexagonal kind of repeating pattern, and I think that was much better than what you guys saw now. So right now, as you can see, I used once again to hold a build the adventure wall pieces as a ceiling, and then I used those lamp posts. Like, I found it a really great technique. Like, if you sink the lamp posts into the ceiling, they give this like a nice glow to the walls of the building, and so I think it really well, I think I've been saying a lot of reallys in this video, but I think it really adds to the look and overall nice vibe that it has and gives it this realistic lighting other than having the traditional planet coaster, you know how it just does. Like it makes it look a little bit choppy and it's out of place and some parts are darker than the other, especially when you're not covered by, like in planet coaster, if you're not covered by terrain or anything, like your lighting's gonna be hell of weird. And like especially in the daytime, like we all know what I mean. Like it's just odd, and I hope they really fix that in Planet Coaster 2, because right now I don't think there are any more future major plans for Planet Coaster. But I'm not saying there. I don't know if there are any major plans. I'm just looking at it from a gamer point of view. Like I don't really think, like, let's all be real to ourselves, there's not really that much left. I think it's, now that I think about that leak that was released a couple of months ago about them being in development from Planet Coaster 2. And so yeah, I think that would be an installment and a new like upgrade for Planet Coaster 2, because right now I think as Stan said in one of his videos, Planet Coaster was just like an experimental kind of game. They wanted to see what we're good at. Like they're gonna give us something and they want to see what we're gonna do with it. So now that they've gathered enough information and know what exactly we want, they're gonna make like as we can see from Planet Zoo's screenshots and so far techniques, we see that they've taken a lot of feedback and utilized it to make the gameplay better for both the people who want to build and the creative mode and the sandbox mode, and also the people who also want to play zoos and stuff, and the people who just want to buy the game. Because I think there are more people who just buy the game and just mess around with it than people who actually sit down, like me and other people, I guess, Dan, to sit down and really think about what we're building and stuff. So I think those are the major like things of this game. So yeah, I don't know if I was getting off topic at that point, but yeah, that's really been on everybody's mind right now. Like, what's the future of Planet Coaster? So right now you can see I used the wall piece, this wall Moroccan doorway and the archway, and I think it really complements each other because that wall was looking a bit plain and I wanted to spice it up with something. So I wanted to settle for using those pieces in the game. So right now you see I'm putting down some of the little bits and bobs to fill up the area and make it look much more like immersive and believable, in a sense that I'm using some of the vases from Planco and also some TMTK vases, but I don't know who made them on the workshop. But yeah, I think right now, because everyone's in the beginning of summer and they have a lot of workload and stuff on themselves and they have to think about their, so I think people have not really been posting much to the workshop, by the way, because it's been like a whole crazy, I don't know, but for me it's been a whole crazy beginning of summer for me. So I think as we get into the main summer sessions, I think I'm gonna be a bit freer and have less workload to talk with. So right now, as you can see, I'm using the steampunk flooring from Artificial Artist, his TMTK flooring. On the workshop, people were complaining about the size because it's like 5 megabytes, and I don't really think that bothers me, because I would pay that if this would actually come out, like this piece actually came out in a DLC, I would actually pay for it to have like a realistic flooring tile set for Planet Coaster, because I think the tile piece is what really made this build to really stand out and look realistic from actual other interior builds that I've done in the past. not that I've done a lot of interior builds, but like so far this is like my best interior build of any park in Planet Coaster. So I was seeing if I could use the other piece, but nah, I didn't really think it fit well. I think that piece is good for when you're like placing it on walls and stuff, so that was really good for that purpose. And so as you can see, I still have that really crazy wooden aesthetic ceiling piece. So I think in a bit I'll have to change it into like the more geometric design I found online. Well, not online, I kind of went at, when I build stuff, I actually Google what I'm building, look at the history, look at everything about that place. Because so I saw that there's actually a video up on YouTube. I'm not really plugging them, but it's from TED how geometric designs from Arabian and Moroccan architecture are made. So I watched the video and was inspired. So I kind of just went into Planet Coaster and started fiddling with some different shapes, and I think came up with that hexagonal shape, and it really looked nicely. So in a bit I think we'll be switching to the daytime where I'll be starting work on the ceiling. So right now I'm trying to find some stuff to put the bits and bobs down and to fill up that front space, because I thought it really looked a bit bland. I didn't really want to fill it up too much because the flooring there and the reflection makes it look so nice, and so I didn't really want to ruin that part. So I just settled for that basic planter and put a little sink down, a little tree and palm tree inside, and then we call it a day. So right now I was filling up that ceiling because it looked a little bland, and so I think in a bit we'll be switching over to the geometric designs. So right now, as you can see, I using the thinnest columns we can get from Planco that are in the building section. So I used them and staggered them around in a hexagonal fashion, and I repeated them, and it really turned out really well. Like, yeah. And so I was really pleased with how that really came out. And so yeah, as you can see, I'm deleting the excess because we don't really want excess, but at the end I'm still gonna cover this whole like station building and the whole behind the scenes scenery and the dark red section, all with like a enclosure, which is on the outside is gonna have that Disney's go away green color on it, so it blends with the environment. I don't really know if it really does the job, because whenever I go to Disney I still like notice, maybe it's because I know it's go away green now, but I think the main GP would not notice it, but maybe it's because I know of it. So yeah, right now as you can see, I'm working on the second interior, which is gonna house, like, I really found that the genie, like fortune teller, is it called a stand that came with the vintage pack, fits absolutely perfectly with this build, because it's like has this Arabian theme kind of going on. So I thought of like you, because a lot of movies I've watched about like Arabian stuff, and it really has like this fortune teller that people go to ask for their fortune and what the future holds for them, and I thought that would be a nice feature to have in this castle. Like, it would make sense if you have like an Arabian looking, I'm not trying to be weird or anything, but like an Arabian looking fortune teller that is really nice. So I made that room is gonna be like themed to like a purplish, and it put in a lantern and came out really well. So putting down and used once again, I know I've said it a lot in this video, I used the adventure wall pieces for the walls of this small room in this entire palace. It's actually small, but if you actually look at it, I made it in such a way that it looks like a forced perspective kind of room because the forced perspective, in a sense that it's looks bigger than what it actually is, and because I made it look like because of the flooring and the placement of the column, really made it like have this towards you it's bigger, but further away it's smaller, so it looks a bit stretched out and much bigger when you come into the room and experience it. So I copied over that lamp from the main queue entrance and placed it over here and recolored it, and I thought it really looked cool at the end of the day. As you can see, I used those banner pieces for the curtains because mostly I see these kind of sections always have curtains and to look mystical and stuff like that. And so yeah, using the adventure wall pieces as the golden adventure wall pieces pun as the ceiling cornices to match with the whole golden shiny vibe of the whole castle. And so as you can see, I placed a popcorn stand at the side just in case you get hungry or stuff after you've gotten your fortune, and then you just go to get some popcorn. But it would actually be funny if someone gets a fortune of you're gonna be poisoning or something, and then they actually go out and see popcorn, no, what's this? I can't eat popcorn. It might have poison inside. This is a curse. I don't know if it's funny, but yeah. At this point, you can see I'm adding some extra detailing for the whole place, so it really came out really well. And so I really thought the wall needed something to spice it up, so I added those. I don't know what they're called in game, but they really spiced up the whole place and made it popped out. And it came out really well. And so as you can see, I'm recoloring some of the stuff because the way I build is that I place down the regular pieces, then recolor them after. So I think it's more versatile that way, so we can be flexible than just having a constant color all the way and forgetting how to blend all the colors in the environment. So yeah, I just place the regular lamps, stagger them to make them look nice, and put ropes to make it look like it's hanging. And so I think that's mostly what I have for you guys. I don't know what the rest of the video is gonna be, a extra detailing and some more bibbidi bobs and stuff around the place. And so I think as we're getting to the end of this video, I would like to say thanks for watching. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, leave a like in this video if you like what you're seeing, and hit that notification bell so you can get notified whenever I post anything new. And so yeah, see you next time. Until then, enjoy the rest of the time lapse.